sometimes there's quadratics that we just can't factorise to solve. And those quadratics we have to use the quadratic formula on. Now, at GCSE you're very lucky because this quadratic formula is given to you in the formula book. But sadly, at A level you have to learn it. Now, attached to this topic is also a YouTube clip of a class singing a song on how to remember the quadratic formula. Now, you must learn this because you'll be using it a lot throughout your A-level mathematics studies. So the quicker you learn it, the better. So the quadratic formula, to remind you, is x equals minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Now, you should remember from discriminants that b squared minus 4ac happens to be the equation you use to find the discriminant of a quadratic. Now, in the quadratic formula, the a represents the coefficient of x squared, the b represents the coefficient of x, and the value on its own is the c. Now, we're going to use the quadratic formula on this equation to solve it, but remember also at core 1 you do not have a calculator. So any quadratic formula question you might be asked to do, it'll either be a perfect square number or they'll be looking for you to leave your answer in terms of surds. Okay, so let's have a go at this question. Now, I always like to write down first what the values of a, b and c are. So a in this equation is 2, b is minus 2 and c is minus 2. Now we can use the quadratic formula. Now, providing you put everything in very carefully and slowly, you can't go wrong, but do be careful with them negative. So x is equal to minus b. Now, minus b, we've got minus 2. We'll come back and sort that out in a minute. Plus or minus minus 2 squared minus, in bracket, 4 times a, which was 2, times c, which is minus 2. And you've got to divide all of that by 2 lots of a, so that's 2 lots of 2. Now, the better you get at this, the more practice you have, the more bits you'll be able to, more steps I'm doing now, you'll be able to miss out. So, minus, remember, is a positive, so that's 2 plus or minus. Now, minus 2 squared is 4 minus 4 times 2 times minus 2. So 4 times 2 is 8 times minus 2 is minus 16 all over 4. So, next step, x equals 2 plus or minus 4. Right, minus is a plus, that's plus 16 all over 4. Now, when you get good at this, you won't have to write all these steps down that I'm doing now. I'm just breaking it up so that people who haven't done it before have a chance to fully understand this. Right, now, next thing, 4 add 16 is 20, so we've got x equals 2 plus or minus the square root of 20 all over 4. Now, remember what I said at the start. Unfortunately, you can't use a calculator in a core 1 exam, but 20 happens to be 4 times 5. Now, square root of 4 is 2, so we can rewrite this now as x equals 2 plus or minus 2 root 5 all over 4. Now, if you can't remember how to do this step, you need to go back and look at the surds introduction video. Now, last thing you can do, remember this plus or minus means you've got to add the square root once, and then you've also got to subtract the square root. So, here we go. The two solutions are going to be x equals 2 plus 2 root 5 over 4, and x equals 2 minus 2. Oops, sorry, root 5 there, not root 2. Let's just change that. Root 5, and this is root 5 over 4. Now you could go another step and you could just cancel that down, because you can change that to x equals 2 over 4 is the same as a half, so it's 1 plus 2 over 4 is also 1, so root 5 over 2, and this one will be x equals 1 minus root 5 over 2. Now, remember what I said, you're not given the quadratic formula in A-level maths. You've got to learn it, and use that video from YouTube to help you.